First of all, before we get going, just want to give my condolences to Damar Hamlin, him and his family, obviously, and the Bills organization, the Cincinnati organization. I know from a player's perspective, who, we all compete every week, but at the same time, the NFL is a brotherhood, and to see a brother like that go down like that, it was very, very scary. And obviously we take all of that extremely seriously. So just all of our thoughts and prayers to Damar and his family, Bill's organization, Cincinnati's organization. So I just wanted to say that before we get going.
Jarrett, I'm curious, and now that you got the first start under your belt, are the nerves a little different this week, or is it still just as exciting?
Oh, it's just as exciting. Anytime you get to go out and play football, it's exciting. That's how I look at it, and it's another opportunity against a great football team. So that's how I'm looking at it.
As a player with the Damar situation, how do you walk that fine line of thinking about it but not thinking about it when you're out on the field playing?
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's tough. I mean, obviously, something like that is it's so scary for anybody, and it's something that you just. It'll probably be in the back of people's minds, and everybody can, handles things differently. It's something that's just extremely scary that's happened, and you just try to, protect yourself as best you can. It's just football's a very physical sport, and it's just it's very sad what happened, and like I said, very scary.
Jarrett, saw you making some plays for your legs on Sunday. Going back to high school, you were a dual threat quarterback. I think we've all learned to find out about that. Number one, great dual threat quarterback. But has that always been part of your game? What's the kind of the fine line of utilizing it, but also staying in there when you need to stay in there?
I've always my thing. I've never really been a runner first. I've always tried to be a passer first, and there's just some instances throughout the game where there was an opportunity to run and just took off or whatever, and that's kind of how I've always viewed running the football. I would like to make plays with my arm, not necessarily my legs, but whatever can help the team in that moment, that's what I'll try and do.
Did you also make plays with your legs where it's not necessarily taking off running, it's maneuvering in the pocket? We saw the one where you're rolling to your left, I think it was, mm-hmm. Breaking off what the original play is called to do in order to then go to those scramble, roll, fire drill, whatever you call it, keeping your eyes downfield. What's the process in that, of deciding when the right time to do that is?
Yeah, I think it's just a feel thing. Obviously, I mean, the guys up front, they did a tremendous job all day on Sunday, and I think it's just a feel thing. I mean, sometimes it's just taking a subtle step to your right or to your left or up or back or whatever it may be. Sometimes it's, taking your drop, maneuvering up, and then out of the pocket, you just feel space or whatever it might be. So I think it definitely just comes down to how the game feels and how the rush is feeling, how the protection is. There's just a lot of factors that kind of go into that.
Life in the NFL, you get through the 49ers, effective pass rush, and then now you have the Chiefs, which are just as good. What are you seeing on tape from them that you're going to be seeing on Sunday?
Yeah, obviously Kansas City, a great football team. We went, the last time we played them, went down to the very end of the game, and that's what the NFL is all about. There's a lot of really good players on every team, and we're obviously super excited for the challenge. Specifically with their front. Their front four is explosive. They got fast linebackers. They got guys in the secondary that can move around and make plays on the ball. So it's going to be a tremendous challenge for us, and we're really excited about it.
How important is it for this team with the roller coaster that this season has been to end it on a high note on Saturday?
For sure. I think, every team wants to win every game, and unfortunately that's not the way things work. But each week, you got 17 opportunities in the regular season to make things work, and obviously we want to try and end this year on the right note and go into the off season feeling good about where we're at, and that's what we're going to try and do, is just do our job and do the best we can to go out there, make plays for each other, and ultimately try and come away with a win.
Jarrett, for you personally, how do you balance focusing strictly on Saturday, but also knowing that there might be some uncertainty that comes after the season?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just focused on this week, focused on, we have I guess, really 3.5 days left of the season, 4 days of the season left, and that's really all I'm focused on, doing the best that I can for the guys in the locker room, doing what my role is, what my job is, and that's all I can really do right now, and just try and give my best effort the next 4 days and leave it all out there on the field on Saturday.
Your personal experience playing at 2 colleges, playing for 2 franchises in the first 4 years, what has that taught you about football and just about life as a professional?
There's a lot of different things it's taught me. There's been a lot of different perspectives that I've pulled away from, all 4 different places in college and obviously here in the pros, and adversity hits in all sorts of different ways, and I just try to keep a level head, keep balanced as a person and a player, and try to work hard as I possibly can each week to continue to get better, and that's kind of just been my mindset through all of it.
Along those lines, being that you were such a touted prospect out of preschool to college, Baylor, Auburn, everything that you've been through in your journey, when you had that opportunity to finally walk out into Allegiant Stadium as a starter, just now that you've had time to reflect on it, what was that feeling like for you? What was that moment?
I mean, I think, as a kid, you grow up wanting to be an NFL starter, and there's little milestones that you hit along the way, or that I've hit along the way, whether if it's starting on varsity, as the quarterback, and then getting recruited and starting your first game in college, and then, thank you, Mac, thank you. There's just little milestones you try and hit along the way. Obviously, still the ultimate goal of playing in the NFL. So it was definitely, looking back on it, it was definitely a great moment. Didn't turn out the way we wanted to, obviously, but that's the great thing about this week. We have another opportunity to try and go out there and get a win. So.
We heard Matt Collins just kind of yelling out there. There's been a lot of camaraderie, a lot of bonds that you've had with the guys, even when you came back from the sideline. I saw Dan was giving you high fives after the first opening drive, the ensuing touchdown happened. For you, just feeling that camaraderie and the coaches' acknowledgments, how's that feeling been for you?
It's been great. I mean, to me, football is the ultimate team sport, and I always try to look at it as, you're playing for the guys next to you, and they're playing for the guys next to them. So I always just like to love on my guys, be positive, and ultimately we're out there, we're the ones out there playing. There's only 11 guys out there at a time, so we all got to be together, be as one, and it's been great all year long. These guys have been tremendous. We have a tremendous locker room, tremendous support staff, coaching staff. I mean, this has been probably the most fun I've had playing football in a long time. So, and like I said, it's really just about the people. And, it's always good to be around really good people.
How's it going?
Great. Feel great. Yeah.
You guys all set? Okay. Thanks, Jared.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Jared.
Have a great day.
A couple plays where Jarrett was making some plays with his legs in the pocket, maneuvering around, and the touchdown throw to you. As a wide receiver, when your quarterback decides, okay, it's time to maybe check off something and go make some plays or get some maneuverability and some space. How is it for you as a wide receiver working in concert with him in that regard?
I mean, it's fun. It's obviously something I got a lot of experience doing, playing with Aaron for such a long time. You get used to some of the off-schedule stuff, and that's what the really good quarterbacks do, is they extend plays and they find a way to, whether it's with their legs, he did that a couple times, or if it's just buying a little bit more time and holding on until the last second. That's not easy to do. You got to be a pretty tough guy to sit in there and take a hit like that, just to make sure you're giving it everything you got as far as exhausting all your options. So I got a lot of respect for just the way he sees the game in that aspect, because you saw that in preseason, and then you never know if it's going to pan out like that when it's real live bullets when the season starts. But to see that, I was definitely impressed to know that he has that in his bag, and that he's tough enough to hold on to make any play work.
What are you doing as a wide receiver? We kind of see you reading him.
Yeah.
What are you looking for?
Well, it's not just reading him; it's reading where everybody is. Because there's rules to it. There's not a rule like Tay, you have to go here or this, but just based off of spacing, giving the quarterback because Darren may be open, but if I run in his spot and I bring a guy that's covering me, well then it's not any good, altogether at that point. So for me, it's just reacting fast, finding a spot that's vacant. Hope more often than not moving with the quarterback and not going against it. That way he doesn't have to try to be Superman and potentially make a bad decision. So for me, it's just helping the quarterback out as good as I can and find an open spot.
I saw you donated to Lamar Hamlin, so funding.
Yeah, no, yeah.
What was kind of your reaction to the injury and why do you feel like it was important to take some support?
Well, I mean, really, it's just I think it's a tough moment for everybody right now, especially him and his family and his his football family included. Just to see him in that condition, it's scary. Just knowing that he's a relatively, as far as I know, he's a pretty healthy guy. So to have something like this happen out of nowhere is a pretty scary thing for everybody. So it kind of puts things in perspective, and it's just a donation. But at the end of the day, for me, it's just a way to help in any way that I can. As of now, I don't know him personally, so I can't call his family. I can't do all the things that I wish I could do. So to be able to help with a charity or to anything that can help, and if nothing else, to show other people that I did that way, that'll kind of encourage other people, because I saw Tom Brady, a couple other guys too, and their families decided to make some donations. So when I see that, I'm like, okay, well, that kind of got me to jump on the boat as well. So we just all really praying for him and hoping that he pulls through and everything is good and he's okay all together. Obviously we're hoping that he's still here with us, but most importantly, we want to bring peace to him and his family as we move forward with this. So, like I said, just a small donation, something that obviously can't help with his health in the immediate, but just anything. First thing that I felt like I could reach out and do, I just try to do it.
Davante, you came here, you took less money. You could have got more from Green Bay. This is a team you grew up loving. I know this team in the offseason will make decisions that you don't have a say in. But if they get you a quarterback that can get you a ball, do you want to come back and be a Raider again next year?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like I said, I came here. I wouldn't have been here or ended up here originally, probably, if Derek wasn't here. But it doesn't necessarily mean that I won't be here, in the event that he's not here. That's my boy. Obviously, I got his back through anything. I think I've made that more than clear at this point, and I support him and support everything that he has, moving forward as well. But my dream was to play for this team before he was a Raider, obviously. And at this point, I want to, obviously try to make this thing work and continue on doing what I'm doing here and, myself get better and obviously see the team grow and get better as well.
You see Josh Jacobs play through what he's played through this season, still produce. What does that tell you about him?
Well, it tells me what I assumed about him before, what I thought I knew, but now it just basically validated that and confirmed everything that I thought I knew. And I mean, he's another dude that's extremely tough. He's like me in a sense, like the real tough guys are the ones that they don't tell you about everything they're going through. So you see the stuff that's on the injury report, but you don't really know everything that every guy's going through. So some of them, the fake tough ones, they'll know, and you'll see that it'll be lit up. Every week it'll be on there. I mean, realistically, that's how the league would be. If it was really, you had to put every single thing you felt and that was nagging you or bothering you throughout the season, it would be a pretty extensive injury sheet with probably every single player on that's playing in the games. Football is probably the only sport where it's 100% injury guarantee in one way or the other. So when you got a guy like Josh that, he obviously has the pinky and some, the calf that he battled through, he went and set a record and does that type of stuff. That's what I expect from him now after knowing who he is. It's not something you can expect from just anybody, though. So that should say a lot.
That being said, how does your body feel at this point in the season?
It's felt better, but it's also felt a lot worse. And I mean, obviously, with what some people are going through, DeMar and his family, what they're going through right now, I can't complain about a nagging ankle right now. I mean, at the end of the day, I got my health and my family's health, so that's what means the most to me.
How hard is it to concentrate on playing a football game right now?
It's tough. I'm not gonna lie. I appreciated the way we started the day off. Kind of in our team meeting, we addressed it a little bit and opened up just to talk about it. A couple guys had some questions about just the ins and outs of what happened, and obviously we don't really know. And no doctor can come tell us exactly right now. If we haven't been told, I just an independent guy's not gonna be able to tell us exactly what happened. But just to have a couple answers, at least address the elephant in the room is kind of a big deal right now. It's kind of insensitive, I think, if we were to just jump in here without talking about it and making sure everybody's mind was clear and, able to jump into that. So I appreciate the way that Josh started off the day, just kind of hitting on that real quick. But like I said, I got a couple things that I've been dealing with this year and some things that feel, worse than others. But for the most part, I can't complain, and I won't.
Davante, can you briefly describe the 60-yard touchdown on that play? It looked like a hitch route. Then you kind of find, like you alluded to, the soft spot in zone coverage. But how important was it to get friendly with the quarterbacks, shortening the distance?
Well, yeah, I just tried to work with them initially. I went in, ran a return. They kind of had a bracket on me, and then one of the guys that was responsible for me saw Jarrett moving over to the left side, his right. So then I guess he decided to go up and try to hit him in the face, and he was successful in doing that. Only Jarrett stuck with me for just that extra second, because it actually took it happens quick, but it took a little longer than what I would have liked to, as far as making sure my quarterback is going to stay safe, and I obviously didn't want him to take that hit, but like I said, proud of him for sitting in there and waiting, because, anytime you can have a 60-yard touchdown on a defense like that is, you'll take it as, however you can get them. So for me, it's just finding an open spot, like I said, and working with them and just letting guys kind of slip and establish where they're going, and then just finding a spot.
As somebody that is the face of this franchise, when it gets back to the quarterback, whatever decisions might be made, I know you're not getting the decision making or with the part, but do you want to be kept kind of in the loop on what's going on throughout the offense?
Absolutely. I mean, me, Josh, Ziggs, we all got a really good dynamic, and it's something that I really appreciate, and I've mentioned it to them as well. Obviously they don't have to do anything as far as I'm not a part of the the front office, but obviously they know the reason why I came here, and a step like this is obviously something that means a lot to me and in my personal career, and obviously what I'm trying to chase as far as the ultimate pursuit to get that ring. So and I'm not a guy that's just gonna come in here just saying anything. They know whether it's about the scheme or if it's about personnel, whatever it is, there's a rhyme to the reason. So I'm definitely going to have something behind whatever it is that I'm thinking and I'm saying. So we obviously got a good understanding for one another, and that helps this whole process.
Even on that last play, Davante, when Jarrett got bumped into and the ball kind of fluttered out and was picked off, looked like you had a step or two for the potential walk-off.
Yeah. I mean, we definitely had some opportunities, and the 2 picks and the 2 times where we turned the ball over, they were just kind of, you can't even really blame the quarterback or blame anybody in particular. It's just, one of those freak kind of plays. The first one, it would have been a catch and, maybe catch and tackle or catch and first down. I had an opportunity to split 2 guys. When I saw it on tape, I kind of, sat in the void, and it would have been a perfect ball right to me. It gets tipped up in the air and it turns into a pick. So not much you can do about that. You just got to hope that you can, keep the defensive lineman's hands down and stuff like that. But for the most part, I feel like we got a pretty good feel for how we're going to move and attack this upcoming game. Obviously, got a little bit more preparation to do, but definitely like the start we had, and love Jarrett's mindset out there.
You made a couple of almost ridiculous catches. The one where you dove, got your hand right.
What made it almost? What would be ridiculous?
All right, good. I won't try to say those were 2 ridiculous catches.
Thank you.
The corner. John, do you ever give yourself some time when you're watching it on tape to kind of go, whoa, it's pretty darn good?
Honestly, no. What I enjoy more is reading the comments of every Niner fan that said it was incomplete. That makes me a little bit happier than praising myself and patting myself on the back. I like the people that are pissed off about it. Yeah.
Davante, earlier today, Josh said that the thing that really stands out about you is the fact that you come to practice every day, you don't miss days, and you work as hard despite everything you've accomplished. With this last game, for you personally, what motivates you to finish out this season?
Pride. I mean, we got a lot to play for. Obviously, the playoffs is not going to be in our future this year, but I mean, no matter what, I mean, even after a game like this past one, you got a bunch of guys that come up and talk to different individuals saying, like that was a hell of a fight. Like, that was one of the toughest games we had this year, and that means something, knowing that guys recognize that even when you're in a situation where maybe you're not, for lack of better words, not playing for anything. So for me, I play for the name on the front, even though it doesn't say it on there. But I play for that Raiders, and I play for my family as well. So, and I want to be remembered as a certain type of player when it's all said and done for me. So there's really no question. It's just I play one type of way. So if I'm out there, it's going to be full go, and it's going to be hopefully a lot of excitement. If I get opportunities to with the ball, but. Like I said, just pride. I play for that, the name on the front and the back, and that gets me through it.
For the last couple of years, between COVID and concussions this year, and obviously what just happened to Lamar, there's been a lot of discussion about just player safety in general. That can kind of be an eye-opener for people that don't play football, which you all have to go through just as human.
Yeah, I mean, whether or not it's something that people would truly take a real look at, I think something that I actually texted him after I saw his quick segment. He had maybe a 90-second deal on, I think it was on NFL Network, but Ryan Clark got on there and kind of gave a quick little his 2 cents on everything, and I think it's a real enlightening, well-spoken piece, and it would do a lot for people who, I had a couple weeks back to back where I didn't really have a big input in the game, and wasn't able to fill up everybody's fantasy sheet, and guys and girls can kind of lose fact that we're human beings, and sometimes it's bigger than just that, and it's not just about, sometimes it is just coming out of a game healthy and being able to thank God for something like that. So Mitch. So when you have opportunity to come out and you play a very, very physical game like that, and you can come out and you do have your health, and maybe you don't light up the stat sheet, sometimes it's good for the fans to see that and understand what we go through and why we get millions just to play a game, because you putting your life on the line, essentially. I mean, it sounds dramatic until you have a situation like what happened with DeMar there. So hopefully that can be an eye-opener. I'm very sad that it had to happen like that to be a potential eye-opener for some of the fans and some of the people on the outside, but let this be a lesson to them to understand that it's a pretty violent game and a serious game. We put our lives at risk every time we get out there, so it's a tough thing to deal with, especially after seeing that and go out there and have to follow up something that happens like that. But it's tough. And then the mental part for a guy like T as well, to hear people saying a bunch of BS about, the way what he did and, he could have prevented it. That's just craziness to me. And it's tough that people would even put that on another man's heart like that. So it's not easy doing what we do. So hopefully people, can take this instance and kind of learn something from it.
Time for one more, guys. Anything? Davante, what did Jarrett Stidham show the Raider organization and the NFL at large on Sunday after going back and seeing the film?
Well, I mean, I think he showed them what he's capable of and what he can do. Definitely has some potential. I think that sustaining that and doing it again will be something that'll be big for him as far as seeing how they view him and how they want to move forward. So consistency is a big thing. I mean, you guys know how it is. Even for me at this point, if I came in this year and I didn't follow up what I've done previously, well then, you're not at the top anymore. Same thing, guys get hurt. It may not even be a lack of production. You may be hurt and not in there, and then they forget about you. So it's all about the consistency, how many times you can do it and how well you can do that. It's not about how good you are, it's about how good you play.
All right, guys, thank you.
All right.
Appreciate it.